Hello guys, my name is Zerx, and today we're not talking about history. You might have been expecting that based on what I've been putting up for the past couple of weeks consecutively. But no, today we're actually going to be talking about something pretty atypical for YouTube. We're going to be talking about art, and with regard to art, we're going to be talking about modern art. And so I guess you might say, Zerx, what the hell? Why are we bothering talking about art? Well, art is something that I've been pretty interested in for a long time. I have an older brother, just one sibling, my older brother, and he's about 6 years older, give or take some months. He has been into art for a very long time, since he was a little kid, and because he's older, I've been into art for a pretty long time. That's not to say I've really tried to get good at it, but I've been interested in the field, because, he always had something to tell me about, and in particular, I guess, something relevant to this situation. He always had something bad to say about modern art. And actually, I'm going to make a clarification right now. When we talk about modern art in just, common everyday language, which is totally fine, it's just, that's not really technically modern art. Because we might talk about something that you see in a contemporary art museum today that's made, within the past 50 years. You might be inclined to say, okay, so this modern art, this is bullshit. But really, that's not technically accurate. Modern art actually ended around the 1950s. So that's, a little tidbit to keep to yourself. And so if anyone says, oh, this piece of modern art is shit, you should say, no, that's incorrect. This piece of postmodern art is a piece of shit. So that's why we're going to be talking about art today, because it's important to me. If you don't find this interesting at all, you go ahead, you can click off, but I'd appreciate it if you just let me know at the end if I did a good job of making it interesting for you. And so with that little preface, we're going to jump into it. So to really add any discredibility, I guess, I don't even know if that's a word, to postmodern art, we really have to start with a definition of art, just in general terms. And that actually, in general terms, little qualifier that I added on is kind of the problem with art. So if you look around on the internet, just at like random dictionary sites, you might conclude that art is, in very general terms, some kind of expression of creativity. And if you keep digging around, you might put some definitions together and come to something like I came up with, and that's an expression of creativity that provokes thought. So let's analyze this for a second. An expression of creativity, that's the first part. I think you could make a pretty good case that basically everything that's in front of you right now is an expression of creativity. I've got my Xbox to my left. I could definitely make a case for that being an expression of creativity in terms of, how it looks and really, I guess, what it does. Maybe this little piece of Kleenex isn't an expression of creativity, but I'm sure you could say that maybe the patterns or even like the machine that it was made with is some kind of an expression of creativity. The only thing that I can really think of that isn't a really defensible expression of creativity is something that my friend said. He said, alright, well, let's say hypothetically you're copying one word from the top of the page all the way down on every line. And I said, okay, yeah, good point. Not everything is an expression of creativity. So with that example, I can say, this is a good place to start. Now let's look at the second part. An expression of creativity that provokes thought. Now, it doesn't say what kind of thought, so you could really say that it provokes any kind of thought. So let's say you're in the movie theater and you're waiting for your movie to start. You've got your sticky fucking shoes because it's a shitty movie theater. You got your popcorn, and you're watching a trailer for like Tron, and all that this trailer accomplishes is, if it's successful, so it puts the thought in your head, I want to see Tron. And let's put away any other artistic value. Let's just analyze that thought. Is that really a reason for you to call something art? And I would say no. Just because something convinces you to have any kind of thought, like, I want to buy some tampons, or I want to watch Tron, I wouldn't say those are good enough thoughts. That's a very general way of putting it. I don't think those thoughts are good enough to make something count as art. And so this is kind of what I came up with from that base, an expression of creativity that provokes thought. I would add in the word profound. So it's an expression of creativity that provokes profound thought. And We can attack that later, but I think that's a pretty good place to start. I think that you could argue that any real piece of art puts some thought in your head that's a little bit higher level than, you know, I want to go buy tampons. So let's start with that. And actually right now I'm looking over my my outline, because I'm actually writing a paper on this weekend. I forgot to throw in the word emotion, so it's a profound thought or emotion. So let's start with that, and we can say that at this point, postmodern art is art, and we can really prove this with an example. To make this example really illustrative, I'm going to take one of Picasso's pieces, and these really aren't postmodern art pieces, but just because, you know, Picasso's a pretty famous guy, and his style really has some of those like hallmark aspects of postmodern art, in that it's not very aesthetically pleasing. So if you take a painting like Guernica, or Guernica, it doesn't matter how you pronounce it, you can see that there's not that much aesthetic intent behind it. It's not meant to really look good, but it's definitely an expression of creativity, and there's definitely some profound thought that you can reach if you analyze it long enough. And it was more of a commentary on like the Spanish Civil War or something like that, but that's really not important. It's just important that there's a profound thought and that it's an expression of creativity. So at this point we can say that postmodern art counts as art, even though it's not aesthetically pleasing. So from here to really convince you that postmodern art is art, you know, maybe not good art, but that it is art, we really have to explore how art functions in moving its audience to consider some really profound thought. And actually, that's more of a two-part process, and it's going to take a while, but that's actually a pretty interesting thing that I came up with. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys, but I'm out of time. So I will let you guys know about that later. Thanks, guys. Bye.